Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amelie Santini and welcome to Vlogmas Day 11. With only 2 weeks left until quarter 2 ends and semester 1 ends, there's a lot of pressure right now on how to finish the year well, how to finish with top grades, how to finish with the GPA you want. If you're like me right now, you're analyzing your grades, trying to see how you can improve, this video will help you know how to do just that so that you can finish your year strong. I'm a junior right now, I have a 4.0 GPA and I'm taking 7 AP classes, so I have to study a lot and I have to plan everything to be able to get the grades that I want. So that's why I wanted to do this video, to share with you guys what I do and how I'm going to finish semester 1 strong. The first part of the video is going to be like a to-do list, things that you can do so that you can have a thorough plan for how to finish this last 2 weeks, and then in the end it's going to be tips for how to study better. Let's start. The first step, what you're going to do is you're going to analyze your grades. You're going to access your grades, you're going to see which ones are higher, which ones are lower, which ones have the possibility of going down a letter grade, so going from an A- to B+, and which ones have the possibility of going up, so going from an A to an A+. After looking at your grades and keeping what classes have the possibility of going down and going up in mind, the second step is going to be making a list of all the upcoming assessments and putting it down on a calendar, either on paper or in the Notion page. I love using Notion because this is a great way to plan for everything that's coming up. I get to visually see it, I can color code it, and I can move it around in case things change. After doing that, we're going to prioritize tasks. Keeping the classes that have the lower or higher grades in mind, we're going to start what's more important. What are the tests that are going to either make or break your grade? What are the tests that are going to boost your GPA from going to an A to an A+? After we identify the most crucial assignments and exams, we're going to make sure that our highest priority exams and tests receive the attention that they need. And we're going to do that with the next step, creating a schedule. Creating a schedule is what's going to save your life. You only have a couple of tests left, so this is what you're going to need to do. Since you already put everything on a calendar, you have a visual of what days are the busiest, what days are the least busy. When your tests, do they overlap some days? Do I have math and physics on the same day? You're going to develop a daily study schedule, keeping each subject and their importance in mind when deciding how many hours you're going to dedicate to each subject each day. If you're like me, I love blocking out from 6 to 8, I have to study for math, from 8 till 10, I have to study for English, things like that. I love blocking out my times. That way I know exactly that I'm following my plan, and it makes doing your to-do list easier because you see what times are scheduled for each day. And it's very important to set aside more time for the subjects that require more attention. We're also going to be setting realistic goals. You might want to study the whole unit in 3 days, but is that going to be possible with the time that you have, with all the extracurriculars that you're going to be taking, with all the other tests that are going to be happening? Probably not. We're going to be using the time that we have efficiently. So first, you're going to make a list of everything that you would like to do. I will start with physics, for example. I have a big test coming up for physics, and I would love to look at all the notes, watch videos on all the notes, like on YouTube, that would probably be like an hour long each, teaching me the lesson again. Then I would like to redo all my 40 homework questions, and then after reviewing each question and seeing what skills I need to know for that question, tips to remember them, I would like to do a practice test to see if I would do well on a quiz. Now, would all of that help me do great on the test? Absolutely. Do I have time for all of that? Absolutely not. So I can take a couple things out that I don't think are the most important. For one, I don't have to watch all these videos. I can look at all my notes, look at the things that I don't really understand enough or that I want to understand better, and just watch videos for those. Or maybe I can ask my friend, because that would be a little shorter than videos since they can answer my direct questions. Then, instead of doing all 40 questions, I can just do the ones that I had the most difficulty doing in the first place, or the ones that are the harder ones, or the ones that are more likely going to be on the exam. And finally, doing a practice quiz I think is more valuable, so I would save more time for that than anything else, because then I can know exactly where my strengths and weaknesses are, and that way I can study even a little bit more after that, knowing what to focus on. If you create a plan like this, it's gonna make your whole study schedule way easier. A way to do this as well is to break down larger tasks into smaller, manageable goals. Instead of writing down, oh, I have to read 50 pages for English, write down, oh, I'm gonna read 10 pages each day, and that way you're gonna be more motivated to do it. If you keep in track, it won't feel like anything even though you're studying for a whole week. And also, it's important to have the pressure of doing these things. I know a lot of people that wait until the last minute because it's only then that they feel the pressure of the test coming up, and that's what motivates them to study. But you have to find other ways to motivate yourself, or else you're not going to do well. Doing well on tests requires you to study days in advance. Cramming the night before is probably not the best way to go about the situation. Will it work? Maybe. But do you want to bet your grades for semester 1 on it? We have some tips for how to study better to prepare for these exams. So the first one is utilize class notes. Review everything. Something that I love to do is I love to star a couple of things that the teacher mentioned in class that she might be like, hey guys, pay attention for this for the quiz. And if I'm looking back at my notes, I can see that and I can make a mental note that this is important and that I should focus on it. It's also good because that way you're reviewing everything that could possibly be on this test. And if you see something that doesn't really make sense or you're confused about, you know exactly what questions to ask on these upcoming days before the test. Something that is so crucial that's going to help you so much is practice tests. Maybe if you did a quiz in that quarter and now you're going to take a test that has the contents of the quiz, re-quiz yourself. Look over the questions, answer as if you don't already know the answer, and see if you're answering the same questions wrong again. It's also good to search up practice quizzes or tests. This is so easy to find, especially if you're taking an AP, because the same type of questions, which is the AP style questions, are out there on the internet. I've been doing this recently for physics and it's been helping me so much. In the end, I find that the style of the questions on these practice tests are the exact same style of questions on my actual exams, and it helps train my brain to identify what they're even asking for. Group study sessions. You can get a couple people from the same classes as you. They don't even have to be in the same period. It can be your friends that are all taking the same subject. You can all sit down and like quiz each other, have discussions about the subject. This works great, especially if you're gonna do like a quiz about like an English book, that if you talk about it and you discuss, you get different perspectives, and that conversation is gonna help you on the test, or maybe if you're writing the essay, you're gonna remember that. Use technology strategically. You can use technology in so many ways to study. You can use technology to search up practice quizzes, for example. You can also use ChatGPT for that. If you wanna maybe create your own answers and questions, if you wanna ask how to do a detailed study schedule, ChatGPT can do that for you. Another way that technology can be useful is looking at videos, looking at motivational videos if that's something that you need. Maybe looking at some videos that are timer videos, or ones just have a nice background and that way like you don't go on your phone because it's playing the video. Meet with your teachers. It is especially important to talk to the ones creating these tests what your questions are. If you have the opportunity to ask your teacher about a specific question, that's going to be so much better because they can give you a better and clearer form of an answer. You can also have a discussion with your teacher asking what parts of the test do you struggle and why she thinks that happened, and she can give you tips for that. She can give you advice, and that is so valuable. Finalize study guides. Create a study guide for each class of everything that you've learned from that unit, everything that could be possibly quizzed about, and now you can look back and see what areas you need help. Summarizing each subject helps, maybe like even if you're gonna dumb it down so that you understand it more, or if it like sticks more in your brain, that can be very helpful. And you can use this guide for a quick review on the upcoming days for your exam. The last couple of things before we go is always make sure to be checking your grades. Sometimes teachers put in accidentally the wrong grade. Make sure all your grades are up to date. Make sure you don't have anything that you haven't turned in yet for this quarter. It's better to have a late than a 0, so just make sure that you have everything submitted. If possible, do all the extra credit assignments because that can take you a long way and it can help boost your grade from like an A to an A+. And last thing, don't stop doing your homework because you think your grade is safe. Prioritize the classes that need the most attention, but don't completely drop the other ones. We want you to have a balanced grade at the end of the semester. Ending semester 1 strong is very important. If you follow all these tips, I'm sure you're gonna do great. And also make sure you're also practicing self-care, some meditation, sleeping more. That way you can be prepared when taking these exams. I think you guys are gonna do great. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!